We really love having these guys out in Australia. Firstly, Kevin, it's good to see you, mate. Is this your first trip to Australia?
No, it's not. We came over with DC Talk in 96, I believe, 95.
95?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Loved it. I mean, we were never in Toowoomba, so we were kind of all over the place. But that whole tour was raging. I mean, that actually was the first time DC Talk had tried the full-on stage dive without any, we wouldn't set people up for it.
Yeah.
You know, throughout Toby's career, he's done this thing where he's like, I'm going to jump now. I'm going to jump. I'm going to jump. You know, for like 5 minutes, like an old man, so people will like line up. You know, but back then, I dove without letting anybody know. And
yeah.
We were hitting the ground and hitting the, you know.
Oh, very cool. Well, Kevin, I want to say I've been a fan of yours for years too. I've seen you. I've got your poetry book as one of my coffee table books. I've seen you do some acting over the years.
Tried to.
Yeah. You've certainly done heaps of cool stuff. And now, Will, you're the only original member. And my first question is, are you going to put on the mohawk tonight?
No.
Who wants to see the mohawk tonight?
Yeah? I'm sorry. I haven't quite got back into the mohawk mode yet, you know. No, I'm kicking. This is this is back to 1991.
Yeah.
It's going long and blonde and
cool.
You know.
And we're all aspiring to be hippies or Phil Joel in this band.
Yeah, there you go.
Very cool.
There you go.
Now, Will, being the original member, tell us a bit about the history of Audio Adrenaline and how you got together recently.
Oh, well, we were a band going all the way back to 1986. We've been to Toowoomba, this is our 4th time now as a band. So we love this festival, by the way. It's incredible. And the country here is beautiful. But, we were trucking along doing Audio A, and Mark Stewart, our lead vocalist, lost his voice. So we shut it down in 2007. I believe we were back here just for a reunion in 2000, what was that, like 2009?
Yeah, yep.
So we were back at this festival, and you could hear Mark's voice then. It was really hard for him if you were at that show. So his voice hasn't gotten any better, but we've been working the orphanage that we were able to start with God's help down in the southern coast of Haiti called the Hands and Feet Project. So Mark and I have been pouring our hearts into that wholeheartedly, and just seeing God do an amazing work there. He's... we've felt a great momentum in the last year and a half or so, especially since the festival. You guys were so beautiful to have us come and do that for Hands and Feet. And so, when kind of talk started to arise of Audio A getting back out there with some certain folks in Nashville, it didn't sound too appealing at first, and Mark's voice hadn't really come back around. And so we're like, that's never going to happen. We miss it, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then they were like, what would you think of adding a new lead singer? And Mark and I talked about it, and when we asked if we could really tie Hands and Feet to this new thing at a deep level, and the rest is history. So Hands and Feet is a direct beneficiary of all of our records sold, and we've got, one of the greatest vocalists and assembled, an incredible rock band.
Yeah.
Can we ask somebody to turn that off next door? It's like, can somebody go around and ask him?
Yeah, Peter Furler, tone Peter Furler down.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, anyway. To be honest, they went, when they came to ask me, I thought it was a bit of a joke, because I didn't think it was for real, because I had just started singing with the Newsboys on the God's Not Dead record, and went out, did a few shows with Michael and the Newsboys for that tour. And so when this was brought up, I was just like, is this kind of like a joke? And then when the real heart of the matter, which is Hands and Feet Project, came into the focus, I just couldn't say no.
Yeah.
Because to sing rock and roll in a great band like Audio Adrenaline, who've been friends and mates of mine for years, we did many tours together.
You did a song together, My World View.
Yeah, My
Back
World
in
View.
the day, yeah.
Absolutely. Will and I would go off on little tangents on the road together. We went to a bullfight in Mexico together, and so we've been friends for a while.
Now, what I really want, and I think all of our guests here would love to see, for Easterfest 2014, we'd love to see Audio Adrenaline here. We'd love to see DC Talk. We'd love to see the Newsboys. all headlining together. Is there any chance that could happen? Everyone wants to know, is there going to be a DC Talk reunion, mixing in with all our Adrenaline Newsboys, Toby Mac?
I just think we make it like one band, you know?
Yeah,
like,
just a huge super band. Yeah.
I mean, why not? You know what I mean? I just try, you know.
Can you make it happen? Can we make the announcement now, live on Easterfest TV?
Would you guys like to see that, though, or that kind of a show? I think if we started an online petition for it, we could really raise some awareness. Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that. Who's keen for that? Yeah. Come on. All right. Let's see. We go. And I just got to ask. So with DC Talk, one of our media guys asked before. So why did DC Talk ever finish up? Tell us about how DC Talk broke up at the time.
Well, you know, it was about 1999, like the movie, and we had kind of, in our opinion, kind of gone as far as we could from a production standpoint and musical standpoint. And I think we reached the ceiling. Yeah. And we were in a natural progression right then to like say, okay, where do we take this? You know, because we kind of done it all. And I think that I think it was just a natural inclination to do solo projects at that time. Yeah. And I think once we got the taste for the solo projects, I think then we realized, oh wow, there's something out there more than the sum of us, you know. But I say from stage quite a bit. I look back at that now and think how special that was. Yeah. You know, and the three of us together was a really unique group. And I definitely think there's going to be some music in the future. Yeah. But you know, right now, Audio Adrenaline is our focus. Yes. Obviously, we want to. This isn't just one record. Yeah. We want to do many records. Right. And we're kind of hitting our stride now musically, and so I think there's going to be some interesting things from this band first before that.
So basically, you're saying God was doing a new thing. That's what you're saying.
We definitely doing a new thing.
Good. Yes. Okay, that's a DC Talk song if you didn't know. Anyway, so Kevin, let me ask you too. Kings and Queens, probably one of the most popular songs on Christian radio in Australia now. The video clip is amazing. Over in Haiti, working with the Hands and Feet Project. How did it impact you guys hanging out with these kids in these orphanages? You know, we heard Mark Stewart share the story about the kids that have been saved from, you know, thrown into toilets and all sorts of stuff. What a gripping story. And, you know, I think that child was adopted by his parents. You know, that story is incredible.
Yeah, actually, that's Mark's child now.
That's Mark's child?
Yeah, he adopted her, Christela, yeah. So, I mean, that's just the heart of it. I mean, we get to go and hang out with those kids. We know them by name. We know their stories. So they're not props in that video. Those are our real children at our 2 locations down there. And so I'd love to hear Kevin tell his first impression of going there. But for me, I mean, that's what Mark and I have been doing for 5 years. That's living the dream for us. Our families are heavily involved. I take my kids every year, and we go down there. They're friends with all the kids. So for us, it's our legacy. It's the greatest thing that God's allowed us to be able to do. You know, and if we never do another thing, we could say, you know, God, you did that work, and we're so proud to be able to be a part of it. And so we just want it to grow. We want to blanket Haiti, and who knows, with this band's help, maybe it could go to other countries. We feel like our model is an amazing model that God's given us, so we'll see. But anyway, he got to go, and we got to throw purple powder all over you and turn your hair lavender.
Yeah, my daughter, I was teaching her how to use a Q-tip the other day, and I said, you know, you really have to stick it in there. You know, you can't just on the outside of your ear. You've got to go inside the ear. And I said, like this. I stuck the Q-tip way back in my ear and pulled it out, and it was purple. And my daughter said, "Is that normal, Daddy?" And I said, "I don't think so." I said, "That's rock and roll, you know." So you know, the truth is that it was an amazing experience for me because I've been in a lot of different countries, but never seen Haiti. After the earthquake, it's just unbelievable how these people live. You know, it's absolutely heartbreaking. But when we turned the cameras on to these kids, I mean, it was amazing to see them just come to life. And I think a lot of children, my kids are a little shy in front of the camera. There was no shyness in these kids at all. I mean, they were going for it. So we had an incredible time, and we hope to be back again to do some more video work there too. It would be great.
Well, it's just amazing. It's great to see a band with a cause. You guys, the Hands and Feet Project, an incredible project. So let's bring in the other guys. You guys are all new members to the band. How did you end up in there? Did they do like America's Got Talent and you had to audition? Have you been in other bands? Tell us, let's start over here. Tell us how you got involved in the band, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I actually, when I was younger, first of all, good day, mates.
Hey, mate.
I
Come
always
on.
wanted to do that.
Yeah, it's good.
I always wanted to do that. Nobody gets that in the States. They don't answer me like you guys did. I used to play in a band. Actually, they played last night, Reliant K, back years ago.
Woo!
And then
Must
a
have done
band
something
called-
right. Yeah,
I
good,
know.
yeah.
Well, I got kicked out.
Oh.
No, I didn't. And then I played in a band called Bleach.
Yeah.
We never really did anything over here.
Mm-hmm.
We mostly did just in the States and some in Europe. But and then I actually played with Audio A on their farewell tour.
Okay.
In 07. So I've already played these songs, except the new ones. With,
So you were on the Live in Hawaii DVD?
You know what? Ben made me do the tour, and then he did the Hawaii show.
Okay. You missed it.
Yeah.
It's so like Ben.
But he's not here today. I'm in Australia, and that's awesome. So, but yeah, that's where I came from.
Very cool.
Hey guys, I'm Jason. How's it going?
Hey.
I've been a writer in Nashville for the past 6 or 7 years. I write for Word Publishing, and I got hooked up with Mark Stewart about 3 or 4 years ago through a mutual friend, and we just started writing some songs. And it was kind of one of those instant connections, and we kind of felt like brothers immediately, and just started hanging out and writing a bunch. And so then I toured with the kind of interim group with Audio A. It was called the No Hope Collective for a little while. Wrote a bunch of songs with Mark for that record, and then whenever the talk started, I remember back in the No Hope days, they started talking about what if Audio A came back, and it was always I don't think it could ever happen. I think it's just done at this point. And then there was a manager in Nashville that started talking to these guys and just started putting it all together and dreaming big, and wanted to tie in the hands and feet together. And so they started wrangling the guys up and picking the boys, and so we had a meeting and talked about it, and here I am.
Very cool.
My name is Dave. I play guitar. And
Woo!
all right. And actually, this is like my third. I can't remember. I'm losing track. This is either my third or fourth time playing Easterfest. The other times I was here with a band called Super Chick.
Yeah.
So I was one of the founding members of that. So I did that for many years. And I actually toured in Australia for about a month. Back when I played with Rebecca St. James for a season.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
So I've had a lot of time in Australia. I love it here. My wife and I came last time with Super Chick, and we thought, if things go bad in the States, we're moving to Australia.
Yeah, come on. Awesome.
We love it.
I mean, I think that's the cool thing. You asked if we had auditions and all that. We didn't have to have any of that. I think God really put this band together.
Yeah.
We were all dear friends, and kind of God relationally was working. A lot of us go to the same church back in Franklin.
Yeah.
He's been authoring this story, and there's so many redemptive kind of components to it in each of our lives, and how God's been working lately. So for us, it's just we've seen God doing the bigger picture, and we're just so excited to kind of be a part of it, and how he is. There's certainly not a member up here that hasn't laid down their preferences and how they normally like to do things, or just anything for the sake of hands and feet and having this be the best that it can be. So when you're in something like that, it's so unique and so different, and feels so much more special. So that's the camaraderie I think that we're living in right now, which is really cool. So
Well, we can't wait to see you on main stage tonight. And I've got to ask, you're going to do Big House?
does anyone want to hear that? I mean,
Yeah?
it's only 25 years old next
Yeah,
year.
it's a little overrated, but
Yeah?
Seriously, you really want to hear that?
Yeah?
Oh, I'm
We'll
not
go
believing that.
backstage and learn it later.
We need to work that one up.
yeah, we're definitely doing that.
Yeah.
No.
We're
Seriously?
definitely doing it. Yeah, that was.
No, they don't want to hear that.
I'm not into pulling any punches here. Let's just tell them the truth. We're doing Get Down. We're doing.
Are you going to do any DC Talk songs tonight?
No DC Talk tonight. I mean, we considered doing a song and having Peter come out and sing a duet with me, but honestly, we actually worked up a couple of really interesting songs tonight for this set.
Okay.
And we had to learn last minute to do for
Cool.
you guys. So
Okay.
it kind of took the place of the DC Talk songs, and I think
Okay.
when you hear them, you'll understand why we took the time to do it. So
Because the song Love is a Verb?
yeah.
I can do the rap out of that if you
Yeah.
want me. What's so funny? What?
Yeah, I don't even know if I remember that song. That would be an interesting one for sure.
You know how it goes, don't you? You want me to? No, I couldn't. No. You know the one?
I can't even remember that tune.
You know,
actually.
back in the days there was a man who stepped out of heaven and he walked the land. He delivered to the people an eternal choice. With a heart full of love, with the truth in his voice. Gave up his life so that we may live. How much more love can the Son of God give? Here is the example that we ought to be matching, because love is a verb that requires some action.
Wow.
I'm going to send a demo to Toby.
You Australians are amazing, I got to say.
I'm going to send a demo to Toby. Can you put in a good word for me? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think you should talk to Lecrae, and see if there's any chance of some duets on the next record.
That was very cool. And what's your experience of Australia? You guys are all, this is your first time here. What do you think? Have you had Vegemite yet? Have you ridden on a kangaroo? Have you cuddled a koala yet?
I laid down next to some kangaroos yesterday at Lone Pine.
How was that for you?
My wife came with me, and we're trying to make it work how we can move here.
Yeah.
And still play music. We love it. We stayed in Byron Bay for a couple nights.
Oh, nice.
So that was amazing. I got these new pants. Feel like I'm Australian wearing these.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start talking like you guys.
Awesome. What about you guys?
I had breakfast with Phil Joel this morning, and he introduced me to Vegemite for the first time.
Oh, good.
Even though I've seen it before, but he showed me how it's really supposed to be eaten. He took like a bunch of butter, and he said it was kind of like an art form.
Yeah.
Kind of spread it on the bread a certain way, and then you put the Vegemite on kind of sporadically. And I have to admit, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be gross. I've been converted.
Yeah, he said it's all about the chunky formations that you make on the bread. So
yeah.
I've had a Vegemite hot dog before. I don't know if you guys have ever done that.
Oh,
Just
nice.
spread it on the hot dog. No? All right.
No. Now, Will, we have to wrap it up shortly, but Easter is all about the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. That's why we're here this weekend. And I have to say, as a young fellow listening to Audio Adrenaline, there is one message that you bring at a concert. I've seen it on YouTube. It's on one of your DVDs, where you just, the band plays in the background, and you just share the gospel. You just share the good news. And it pans across the crowd, and you can literally see people getting it. People's eyes open, ears open to the gospel. Would you share with everyone watching on internet right now on Easter Festivity, share what's the message of the gospel that you guys bring?
Oh, gosh. No, God has allowed me to do so many amazing things, and it blows my mind. But this weekend always hits me so hard. It's literally the cornerstone of our faith. And when you think about the fact that Christ would come and, lay down his life for anyone, let alone, basically it's just for you. You don't think of the whole world. You think of if it were just you, he would lay down his life for you. So, but God is writing some incredible stories in our life right now. I'm kind of in a place where I'm blown away. It's like the father who loves on his child so much, and you just can't take anymore. You just feel overwhelmed. You feel like you get welled up. You're like, God, you're too good to me. I don't deserve all this goodness. I don't deserve your grace. I don't deserve the love that you give me through your son Jesus, that he would die for me. And so I'm in a bit of a place where I just feel so much of the blessing of God right now. I've been in the valley. I've been on the mountaintop. And I've been in the places where you're just crying, and you're crying out to God, God, what's next for me? What do you want to do with me? And he says, no, your best days aren't behind you. I've got so much more for you. And so I'm in that place now. So this weekend really, it's kind of been affecting me. I've been thinking about it pretty deeply the last couple days, and I'm bunking with Dave over here, and we talked about it a little bit last night. This is just an incredibly powerful weekend to our faith and what we're all about, why we're here, and how we can even go through this life and make it in a positive way. So.
Well, I just want to say thank you as an original member of Audio Adrenaline. I grew up listening to you guys, and songs like You Can't Take God Away, My Worldview that Kevin sung with in the duet with you guys, DC-10, Rest Easy just blew me away when I heard that song. A lot of your songs and all your big radio hits, of course. And I'm so glad that the next generation will now get to hear Audio Adrenaline Mark II.
I was excited the fact that Peter is opening for us tonight. I'd like to say that Peter is opening for us.
Nice, good call.
But it kind of brings me back to the DC Talk days when Newsboys opened up for us. But see, we just had the spirit of humility. No, but honestly, it's amazing to think about all those songs. And I was talking to Peter about how he's, integrating some of those great Newsboys tunes into his set. And if we were talking about it, it's like back in the day in the 90s in Christian music, it was literally Audio Adrenaline, Newsboys, DC Talk, doing what we did and reaching a lot of people, and God just really worked on all of us and just kind of shaped us into the people that we are today. We went through some rough stuff in the early days, for sure. But, man, it's just, I think that's a huge gift, are these songs that stand the test of time. And as DC Talk member, I think, we have so many songs that have stood the test of time that I would love to do as well.
Yeah.
But Audio Adrenaline is one of the few bands, I think, in Christian music that have just a wealth of tunes that you can choose from the catalog. I mean, there's just so many great songs. So we're excited. There's too many for us to do on the set tonight, and we have to play some of the songs from our new album. I don't know if any of you heard the new album yet, Kings and Queens? Anybody?
Yeah.
We'll have it tonight if you want to check it out. But, we're playing songs from the new album, which, we're honor-bound to play the new stuff. But we're excited about the new stuff, too, because it's Audio A 2.0. So, but, yeah,
And
excited.
any big tours coming up for you guys? Anywhere you're traveling to next after Australia?
This is the only date we're doing in Australia, which I'm very sad. But we're in the middle of a 35-city tour back in the States, so we kind of interrupted that to come over here, and then we're right back into that on Wednesday.
Cool.
So it's
And who's the support acts on that one?
we've got Group One Crew, Seventh Day Slumber, Manic Drive, a few bands in the States here that are pretty popular. So
Very cool.
yeah, it's a good little tour. We're loving it. So.
Now, Will, you guys are obviously on the road. You're busy. You got families, all sorts of stuff. What do you guys do as a band for devotional time with God? Do you have like a chaplain who goes on the road with you? Do you have Bible studies together? What do you do?
Back in the day, we would have, I know DC Talk was very instrumental in shaping how Audio A did things on the road. They pioneered like having a pastor that traveled with them all the time named Michael Guido, and he would speak into all of our lives. And then when we went out and did our own headlining tours, we continued that tradition. This run, we're sort of all just getting our sea legs back and getting back out there. But we've had a church a few of the Sundays that we've been out on tour as a tour. Yep. And so for me, I want to continue that heart of unity and of, we're not, all different bands and all jockeying for our spots out here and all, just at war with one another. But we're a community on the road, and we need to fellowship. And we need to realize that we're all out here for the same reasons, and we're all out here to encourage and bear one another's burdens and lift each other up, encourage one another. So we've been doing that a lot, and I think it's kept a great feel and a great spirit on the tour. And so we'll continue to do that. We've talked about Jared having his brother come out. He's running an incredible ministry to bands back in Nashville, Milam. And so he could come out. He does the reversal, and he knows how to connect with band dudes and all that. So he's probably going to come out here in the next week or two and really pour into us as well. You got to do that,
You almost have to, in a way, on tours. I mean, especially where there's more than 2 or 3 bands, you tend to kind of get isolated. Your own groups go to their own areas and different buses and all that kind of stuff. So for us, it's about really sharing and getting, intimate with what we're going through. When you start sharing yourself and what you're going through as people and start to communicate, I mean, all those walls are broken down, and God can start working through each and every person individually. I think until that happens, when we isolate ourselves and we don't, share what's going on in our lives, we're afraid to, or we think somebody's going to judge us, until that happens, nothing really, comes alive on a tour, in my opinion.
What about you other guys on the road? Tell us what you do for your devotional time with God. Do you read through the Bible in a year? Do you have a, my utmost for his highest? What do you do for your time with the Lord?
I love my utmost for his highest. Oswald Chambers is amazing. And then my brother, I've got an accountability partner. It's a good friend of mine. And then, like Will said, my brother, his whole ministry is for us, artists that are touring. The thing that I've come to really, I took for granted, I think we all have, is organized religion, where it's easy to look down upon it and judge it because we're all human and things happen through it. But, man, I'm so thankful for it because of the consistency you have. You have church every week, you have Bible study, you have the community, and we have community, but we don't have consistency. Our day we're in a different city every day, so the consistency is really hard to come by as far as keeping yourself accountable and staying in the Word. You really have to work harder, almost, because it's easy for one of us to disappear when we're on a small bus together. You know, you can always just go hide in your bunk, and I don't know, you got to find your alone time sometimes, but it can be hard to do as well. So,
Yeah, it's just about discipline. It's about setting out to do something every day, and if you don't, it won't happen. And some days it doesn't happen. But for me, it's just like, man, if I can't do anything, just maybe read a proverb a day. Yeah. I did that for a while, like, because there's 30 of them, you know. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just really for me. I try to get a routine every day. Try to plan your day ahead of time so you actually fit that in.
Yeah, it's like Jared said. I mean, the bunk is, you're surrounded by guys all the time, and there's people around, and so the bunk, you know, you have kind of this little chamber, a little 2-foot wide chamber that you kind of have some alone time in the morning, you have some alone time at night, and, you know, whenever you can get it. But it's also just being surrounded by a great group of guys, and that community is also a great thing to have, and contact with your wife, and staying accountable, and all those kind of things. So.
Well, we're live on Easterfest TV, broadcasting on the World Wide Web, also on Vision Radio Network, on over 560 relay stations all around Australia. And unfortunately, there's been a bit of rain this morning here at Easterfest, and I was listening to Dave Schenk, the festival director, this morning. He prayed in the YWAM tent that the rain would stop. It soon stopped, but it started again, and then it stopped. And they're a little concerned that people mightn't come out tonight for the show. So I think everyone watching on the net, everyone listening on the radio, they'd like to maybe just hear a little bit of acapella from you guys, just to tease them to come out. I was thinking Big House.
I'm thinking I'm seeing the sun crack through out there.
Here comes the sun. Do 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 do.
Not bad, not
There
bad.
you go. Listen to that voice.
Yeah?
That's all you need to know right there.
What about In the Light? One of my favourites you guys did with Lauren.
I wanna be in the light as you are in the light. I wanna shine like the stars in the heavens. Oh Lord, be my light and be my. You got a rap. Salvation. All I want is to be in the light.
To be in the light.
Shit, I thought all I want is to be in the light.
In the light, yeah.
Yay.
I think we've got another 2 or 3 minutes to go. Is there any questions from the crowd? Anyone here that's a big fan that would like to ask a quick question? Can I have that radio mic there? Number 3, there we go. What would you like to ask, sweetheart? Just don't slip over in the mud down there. Actually, there's not much mud. If you're watching on the internet, it's dry, it's sunny. It's okay.
Yeah, there's no mud at all here.
What would you like to ask?
Hi, I'm Zara Ayers. I'm on 94.9 Remus Central Coast, and I'd like to ask you a very important question. This question is probably the most important question asked to a band of your stature, and the answer to this question could possibly change the future of the humankind.
Very good.
No pressure.
Will you play my birthday party, please?
When's your birthday? 5th of October.
Oh.
5th of October. That's a good date, actually. Both of my daughters were born on October 7th, so that's a good date. Unfortunately, we'll be touring a fall tour. But if you come over to the States, find us wherever we're at on October 5. We'll sing for you.
We'll get you up on stage and sing to you for sure.
Very good. We've got time for one more question. Can you yell it out?
Okay, did you guys hear that? He said he's heard that I had a bit of a rough patch before coming into the band, and could I describe that? Well, you know, I think what's really interesting about all of the guys on the stage is I think we kind of share this story where a lot of us have been on the mountaintop experience. And with DC Talk, I was on the mountaintop experience very early in life. I mean, I was singing at 19 on tour with DC Talk. Stopped when I was 34. So during the years of being a solo artist to now, I definitely went through a very rough, difficult time, personally, spiritually. I kind of went out there on the edge, asked a lot of questions. I never shirked my faith. Like I never doubted my faith, but I really kind of doubted what God had in store for me as an individual beyond DC Talk. And I went out to LA. I did the quintessential artist thing, which is when you're in a small town like Nashville or someplace like that, you always feel like the big city is the thing you've got to go to in order to make it big. So I went to L.A., I listened to the words of all these people telling me I was going to be a huge star. I went through a very humbling scenario of playing in bars and pubs all across L.A. and not really selling that many units, and being my hopes being crushed a little bit from that. And so that and just a lot of other life experiences during that time period led me to believe that, God had something special for me, but I had to turn around and acknowledge him. And it wasn't about me finding the answer. It was about God explaining the answer to me. And so there's a song on this album that is called The Answer, and it's one of the first songs I wrote on the record, and it's in a way, it's kind of like my motto. I've been there and I've done it all, and I've realized that you are the answer. So.
Awesome. Well, we so love having you guys out in Australia. One more question before we go. I'm going to tweet to Audio Adrenaline and Kevin Max and say, watch on Easterfest TV live streaming. Can you guys retweet it to all your followers? Try and get all your followers around the world watching. And let's pray that it'll be an awesome night tonight. Main stage, you can see Audio Adrenaline. Kings and Queens, make sure you grab their new album. Let's give it up for Audio Adrenaline!
Thank you.
Bless you guys.
Thank you, guys.